Well, hello again. My name is Shelly. If you're new here, thank you for being here, for stopping by. I appreciate it. You probably came here because you're curious about the Karity Come As You Are palette. I am super excited to dip into this. I'm going to try to do what I normally do, which is 3 looks with one palette. Why 3 looks, Shell? Why would you do that? Well, because as a lady of a certain age who's not a makeup artist, I want to know if I can dip my brushes into a palette and come up with 3 different looks. Is that a good use of my money? Your money? Could you guys expect the same thing? One of the things that is frustrating is when you're kind of encouraged to buy a palette and you don't know how the formula is. You don't know how the colors are going to work. You don't know if you can come up with 3 different looks. One palette, one look gets a little boring, frankly. I'm not going to do any work looks, but I am going to do, I don't know, some kind of fun, unexpected. Let's just see what I can come up with. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I need to remind you, I'm not affiliated, I'm not sponsored, I don't get anything in PR. I did get a like by the owner of Karity on my Picanti post on Instagram, so that was cool. Maybe he'll like this one too. Anyway, you guys, stay tuned for my video. I'll be back in just a few moments. I have this little pack of Karity products that I purchased. I got a palette, I got a face color concealer corrector type thing. I've got some pre-shadow eyelid primer. I have an eyebrow pencil that I forgot about, and I've got 2 lips right here. So let's just get into some of these. I already put the eyelid primer on. This says it's a long-lasting anti-crease primer, which I thought was kind of fun. I used it the other day and I noticed that it doesn't actually, you know, kind of cover up anything. It doesn't like change the color of your lids. I have already kind of done a little bit of eyebrows, but we're gonna go ahead and put a little bit more on here because I'm never perfect when I do this. Okay, it's pretty dark. Formula doesn't seem too waxy or anything. I gotta look and see what color I got. It is kind of a bigger, it's at an angle, kind of like maybe one of the Benefit ones, but not really. So I'm just gonna dab a little bit on here. It's, you know, it's okay. It's a little darker than I probably needed to. It does have a spoolie on one end though, so now I'm gonna just kind of rough that in a little bit here. I'm not going to do any gel or anything like that on my eyebrows. I'm not going to do any weird soap thing or whatever else. I just kind of wanted to fill in some areas that might look like they need to get filled in. And then just kind of smudge it so that it doesn't look like, hey, I drew on my eyebrows with a Sharpie. Brow Goals, it's called. And this is in color Hot Cocoa. And I want to think that there was, I don't know, half a dozen different colors to choose from. Couldn't quite tell you. I should pull up the dollar amounts and tell you what these things are. Okay, so as far as these 2 lip colors go, one of them is in the shade Molly. And the other one is Fade Out. Why do those sound like drug names to me? So I can tell you they do a pretty good job of taping the boxes, and I do a crappy job of having utensils to get into it. But I just got into one of them, so let's just try to see what this is here. So that's the first one. It's a gloss. It's a colored gloss. High Shine Lip Gloss. Maybe this will rival my Lady Gaga House Laboratory glasses. Actually, it seems like it's a pretty close color. Maybe I should swatch them side by side. All right, and the other one looks like this, and it's a little bit darker of a mauve. That is the order of the colors. So this is the one we have right here, and it is the shade Fade Out, and that one is the shade that's over here, and this is the shade Molly. I just put on the Appeal liner. It's a gel liner, and it's called Muse. It's a color Muse. I don't really care for this. I'm going to put it back in my other room because I don't even really like this. And the 2 lips that I got, one is a matte lipstick, and that's the Fade Out. And the other one is a High Shine Gloss, and that's in the color Molly. Not too bad, actually. I'm not upset about that. I'm gonna throw the boxes away instead of putting them back in my boxes. My lips feel like they're pretty darn dry, so I'm gonna go in a little bit of the lip gloss now. I'm perfectly fine with this lip combo. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it with the lip liner, but I think it's okay. So today we're gonna, oh, you know what? I didn't really use any of this. This is the complexion palette, and I forgot that I had this before I started going in with the other concealers and stuff. So let's just take a look what this palette looks like. We can always find things to doctor up and fix. So what do I have here? This, okay, so it's a pretty decent size. This reminds me of Sephora Stripes, doesn't it? It has like 15 shades. They're cream concealer. This is distributed by Karity Inc., Lakewood, New Jersey. It's cruelty-free. It's in a recyclable cardboard box. There is no mirror in it. I would probably go in with like a little flat tip brush on areas that I need it. And I know that since I have kind of darker spot here, sometimes a little bit more of an apricot color will hide it. Let's just see. I have this broken blood vessel from wearing glasses and hitting my head for years and years and years. It doesn't feel bad. It doesn't seem to be bunching up or caking on my skin at all. I was going to go for a super light look on my skin today, and then now I am doing a paint by number here. Okay, that seems to have blended in pretty good. I'm gonna keep playing with this one and I'll let you know my thoughts on it as I go. So today, the 3 looks with 1 palette is called the Come As You Are. It's from Karity. And I got this because I really like the Picante palette that I got. And this one I thought had a, I don't know, kind of a cool, I don't want to say I'm in Seattle, but I live in Washington State. So it's usually when we travel, we say that we're from Seattle just because nobody knows. If you say Washington, people think DC. So I'm in the Seattle area. I'm a couple hours from Seattle. So Come As You Are, that just definitely reminds me of Nirvana. It does have a mirror. It is a hard side cardboard. It says it's distributed by Karity Inc. in, this one says New York, Karity.com, Karity with a K. 24-month shelf life. It's cruelty free. It's vegan, recyclable packaging. So that's kind of cool. Kind of fun colors. Of course, I was drawn to the sort of grungy green because I like that, but it had some kind of just different shades that I thought might be kind of fun to get a little creative. I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I don't have a game plan in mind. I'm trying to figure out if there's like a rhyme or reason to the color combinations, but this Psych color is kind of throwing me off. If I cover that one up and don't see that one, the rest of the colors actually look pretty usable. Okay, that first shade, it's called Seattle. It's kind of a sort of a mauve color, and I thought it went on very well. You know, when I first went to put it on, it looked so pigmented, and I was like, oh, I don't know if this is a good idea. But it actually buffed out pretty darn well. I think you guys are a little bit far away, and maybe I should probably zoom you in a little bit here. Have you zoomed in a little bit closer, a little bit easier to see kind of what I'm doing here if you're a little bit closer to me. You know, I used a bigger, fluffier brush because I wanted to see if I could kind of diffuse that color out without being too saturated in a specific area. I thought it was actually a really kind of a pretty teal color. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Tattletale. Tattletale is an interesting name considering Seattle's a sanctuary city. That color is so pretty. The metallics are seeming to be very creamy. And I'm just just going to buff out that again with my first transition shade called Seattle. And then I used Duh as my outer corner. I used Tattletale just in a little bit, and then I used Deja Vu, which at first I was like, why would something be called Deja Vu? And then I realized there's a strip club in Seattle called Deja Vu. I don't know that I would have normally done this kind of mauve color and then the teal color together. Something feels very 1980s about it. I'm gonna roll with it, and I'm gonna go back into, actually I'm gonna use Bogus. I'm gonna use a little bit of Drew. I don't know what Drew is in reference to. Do you guys know what Drew is in reference to? I'm gonna put some mascara on. I'll be right back. I wouldn't have normally thought that the pinks and the teals were me, but there's something that I think actually is kind of fun about it. A little bit unexpected maybe. Still kind of a smoky look. I think you could easily do a black liner and maybe some lashes for date night to really get the drama going. I was trying to just kind of stay with this sort of section down here because I wasn't sure if they're supposed to be grouped together. Like I can see that being kind of a group, but I really liked these pinks and I wasn't sure if I was going to work them into another look. So first we'll look down, not upset at all. I thought the colors blended beautifully. They look really pretty. I'm impressed with Karity so far. I'm gonna take this off. I'll be right back with my second look. Look number 2 with the Karity Come As You Are palette. I did a really warm, sunsetty, smoky look, and I like the way the end result turned out. At first I was like, oh, these colors are seeming a little patchy. The only thing I did different was I maybe didn't give the eyelid primer enough time to dry down before I started applying eyeshadow. That's the only thing I can think of that I did differently. But I used the warmer colors kind of in this top half up here. I think I got through the patchiness. This palette I actually really like. This look is very similar to one that I think I probably did with the Picante palette. I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna try to come back with one more look and give you my final thoughts on the Karity Come As You Are, I'm guessing Seattle based palette. Be back in a moment. The greens on my lid, I think are really pretty. And I still like green eyeshadow, which is what drew me to this palette to begin with. I really thought this kind of grungy green and this shimmer would actually be really pretty. I think I've dipped into every shade in this palette, including this bright one, which I layered underneath a pop of this silver just in the corner of my eye. I think it kind of gave it a little something. It's not super in your face. It's not like, this is crazy, what are you doing? But actually it gets really pretty. I'm gonna leave this on for the rest of the day, and I'm gonna say thank you guys for being here. Please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I would love some feedback from you guys on pick a brand. Pick a brand of a palette, and let's see if I have a palette in that brand, and I'd be happy to take requests. Otherwise, I'm gonna just keep going through my list. I've got kind of a short list here, conveniently located, and then I got a whole bunch of other ones in the other room. So, guys, I'm gonna go do something with my hair. I hope you guys are healthy and you guys are being safe. We're almost there. Just stay the course, be strong, don't give up, don't think, oh, well, I can just go about my business now. Nobody's been sick in a while, or whatever the case may be. I hope you guys are not affected by the tornadoes that happened over the last few days. This is going to go up later in the week, so I apologize for not being timely on that, but just know that my heart is with you guys, and I hope there's no injuries and that the stuff gets rebuilt and recovered quickly. So anyway, with that, I'm going to go bake, I think, because that's what I keep doing, because carbs are a diet. Anyway, all right, you guys, until my next video, bye for now.